We've been following stories of children who died, whose families belong to a faith healing church in Oregon City. We've also documented how Oregon changed its laws to protect those children. Now, 4 sets of parents have been prosecuted. Well, tonight, Dan Tilken looks at a place that is one of the last in the country that still hasn't changed its laws. Dan, you have been following this story for years now.
For years. And Jeff, if folks went to this cemetery right here, like I have done, you would see an alarming number of children have died recently. That's because faith healing is still allowed in Idaho by branches of the same church as the one in Oregon City. Well, a former church member is trying again to convince lawmakers in Idaho to do what Oregon has done. And it is an uphill battle. This windswept hilltop outside of Boise is where some followers of Christ members buried their dead. It's called Peaceful Valley Cemetery. Among the graves is one for Garrett Dean Eels. The coroner says he died from pneumonia without being taken to a doctor. There's another for Erin Grandin. The coroner says she got food poisoning, wasn't taken to a doctor, and threw up so much she ruptured her esophagus. Erin was 15. I brought to light how Erin and Garrett are 2 of 12 more children buried at the Followers of Christ Cemetery just since 2011. I learned through death records many of the kids died of treatable illnesses like pneumonia and diabetes.
These are not things that children die of in our time. This is what children died of back in the 1800s, not in the 2000s.
Linda Martin grew up in one of the Idaho Followers of Christ branches. Now, from her home in Oregon, she travels to Boise trying to get legislators to remove the faith healing protections that have kept any parent from being prosecuted in Idaho for the death of a child. This is her 3rd attempt to reach lawmakers like Lee Hyder.
We would encourage them to seek medical care, but we don't force people.
The Republican is chair of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee.
If someone approaches me wanting to carry that legislation, then yes, I'll hold a hearing. I can't guarantee the outcome of the hearing. I can't tell you what the other members of my committee would choose to do with that legislation. If someone chooses to do that, I would be the first to stand up and give them the right to bring the legislation forward.
There is a proposal from the Idaho Attorney General's office to change the law. And there's a call from the governor's task force on children at risk, Child Fatality Review Team, to do something about the faith healing. The panel looked at 2 kids who died in 2012 and determined that both of these deaths may have been prevented with proper and timely medical treatment. The team encouraged reevaluation of Idaho law. But in Idaho, parental rights reign supreme in politics. So Linda Martin keeps going back to the Capitol, hoping someone will listen.
I have been talking to several legislators. There's been no definite plans yet on presenting a bill.
In 2014, a Democrat introduced a bill to change the faith healing law in Idaho like Oregon did. But Jeff, that bill never got to the House floor for a vote.
And Dan, I know you continue to follow this like you have over the last few years. Thank you.